everybody. It is Super Ty. We're going to be talking about very cool comics that are coming out on June 12th. I'm joined, as always, with Comic Book Brando.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We got some announcements at the end of the show, as usual.
As per usual.
If you guys have any questions, comments, especially any questions about any of the events that we have coming up, just bring it down there. We'll answer them as quickly as possible.
Just bring it down there.
Just bring it down. And yeah, so I'm going to start off with a book that has a lot of relevance for tomorrow because it is Silver Surfer #1. And you know what tomorrow is?
Tomorrow is
our signing with Donny Cates. It's going to be here from 5 to 8. We're going to be having cake. You know,
cake?
Yes. Somebody specifically wanted cake, not Donny. And we're...
Did you want cake?
No. Well, yeah, I always want cake, but like we're having cake for this
I
shindig.
love cake, so I'm in.
See, I'm a pie guy. I love pie.
I love pie too.
I just love sweets.
Pastries in general.
Anyways, he's gonna be here from 5 to 8 tomorrow. We're having CGCS. Gonna be here.
CBCS.
CBCS. We have little certificates for them to sign to, authorize that hey, this was actually signed by Donny Cates, so you can have it, verified, vindicated, and yeah. So, a couple of rules about the signing tomorrow before I even start about this. If you want anything signed, you have to get one of these.
Yep.
Or, any of the variants at all. I'm actually getting this and the Addy Granoff one as well. I'm really stoked about that. And if you have anything else, we're going to do them in batches of 3. So you can get this, bring 3. If you have anything more than that, you got to get back in line towards the end. And we're going till 8. We don't want to keep Donnie here too late. He's a really nice guy. He'll stick around for as long as possible. But he's writing a lot of stuff. I don't want to waste his time.
He's a busy dude.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. And now I'll talk about the issue.
Cake with Cates, James says.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to buy more forks. So yes, anyways, we have plenty of plates and stuff, just need more forks.
Hard to share forks.
Yes, James says, hey guys, my favorite live stream, I appreciate that, and
Other James?
Other James is from Virginia, hey, how's it
Hello.
going? Come on down to Texas, hang out with us. We have booze and tacos.
And pizza.
Yeah, pizza. That's one thing that my friends in Philly were just amazed at, that there was like food and beer everywhere down here, just everywhere.
Why wouldn't there be?
Well, in Philly, it's not that way at all. It's weird up there, though.
I'm sad that we don't have food and beer here.
Here, yeah,
Here.
that would be nice. That would be awesome.
I'd never have to leave.
Yeah, just set up a cot in the back. It'd be great. Anyways, here we go. Silver Surfer Black. So this is written by Donny Cates and drawn by Tradd Moore, Tradd Moore is actually one of my top 5 artists. I love his crazy psychedelic kind of art that he does here. Let me find a good page here that just looks insane. Yeah, here we go. So like this is kind of Tradd Moore's art style. So this takes place kind of at the very beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy when all these cosmic heroes get sucked into a black hole. And Silver Surfer saves a lot of them, but now he's stuck in there and he is just lost in the cosmos. And where he lands is not quite where you would expect it to be, with a surprise of somebody who you were also not quite expecting it to be. So yeah, it's really good, it's really crazy, and this is all just prologue. Like all this craziness is just getting ready for the story. So man, I'm digging it. It's awesome.
Yeah, gorgeous book, beautifully illustrated. Donnie spins a crazy, surreal story with Surfer. So,
and it's almost all kind of connected, all of his Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I really dig.
Robert, no, there will be no punch and pie. I'm sorry. Just cake and Cates.
What is that from? Punch and Pie.
It's from
South Park. Yeah. Oh, there you go. James loves coming to Austin for company training and allows him to go broke in the store. I do that every week.
Make sure your business keeps doing business in Austin.
Yeah.
The Immortal Hulk #19. Look at that nightmare. That's Abomination now. Using the remains of Rick Jones and Emil Blonsky, they've created a horror that is just straight up murdering people and has no thought. It's just a murder machine, and it is killing the Hulk. It is rough. Will someone be able to stop this from happening? Stay tuned. We've also got a harpy flying about, and pretty intense storyline. Very jaw-dropping. Every issue is just like a huge gut punch moment. and I'm digging it. It's so wild. It is a true monster horror story. So get it, get caught up. So good.
My next one is from the War of Realms storyline. This is Venom number 15. So Eddie Brock, he doesn't have the symbiote on him. Like, Venom's not a part of him at this moment. He has a dream stone that a witch gave to him that, like, allows him to fight a very demonized jack-o'-lantern. And it just gets wackier and wackier with this. So the whole point of the Dreamstone is you are able to just control your immediate reality around you. So he builds a suit around himself that's kind of like Venom, but it's not. And this is him realizing that his imagination is keeping him back. So now he's gonna like start thinking outside the box. A lot of really crazy battle scenes, including a lot of fire everywhere, which I think makes a good action movie. But also, this is the last issue that Cullen Bunn's writing, and then Donnie and Ryan Stegman is coming back for the next issue of this.
Cool.
Yeah.
James agrees. Immortal Hulk is still killing it on the shelves. It's so good.
I genuinely think it's the best thing that Marvel's doing right now.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Catwoman number 12. Look at that beautiful art germ call out photo, or not photo, but call out cover from the Golden Age. You can see a touch of on the side.
Oh yeah.
So in this issue, a scheme goes awry. A heist to grab a mask that will potentially lead to some kind of, they haven't said a fountain of youth, but some kind of restorative, crazy, magical thing is to be purloined by Catwoman and her crew. But of course, there are other forces at play, and things go quickly bad. So, beginning of kind of a new story, but carrying on what's been happening in this series before. So we get to see some folks that have been causing trouble for Selena Kyle, and some all new bad situations for her. So I love this book. It's very fun. Every issue kind of feels unique and special, but it all tells like one big story. So digging it, and I really think you will too.
My next one is my favorite Spider-Man series going on right now, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So the reason why I like this one so much is it's more down to earth. It's more just like centralized story of just him hanging out in his neighborhood. Now, a lot has happened in the past 7 issues of this, or the past 6 issues of this series. Some of them are tearjerkers, some of them are really just fun. The whole point of this issue is dealing with the fallout of the news about Aunt May. Her charity, Feast, is about to reopen again, and you know, all these people are just like kind of questioning like why are you doing this, and mostly like land developers saying, hey, this will bring down property prices and all this stuff. And she goes, well, what are you doing to make the world a better place? And I was just like, yeah, Aunt May,
get them.
But as you can see, the Prowler is about, and it might have something to do with her cherished organization.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a great series. I'm loving it.
That classic 70s Catwoman costume is amazing. I agree. It is a good one. My favorite Spider-Man series is The Amazing Spider-Man, and this issue, the 23rd, is the epilogue of Hunted. So we're getting to close the chapter on this storyline, and we're getting some final, some finale to it. We get to find out where these characters are going, what's happening, what new things will be born from this storyline, and maybe we'll find out if Mary Jane is truly in danger, or was it all a hallucination set up to make Peter Parker want to kill. Awesome stuff. I really love this storyline, and I just can't wait to see where Nick Spencer takes this character. I thought Dan Slott was going to be impossible to follow, but Spencer's been doing a really good job.
Oh yeah.
So if you're not reading Amazing Spider-Man, you should hop on and enjoy the ride.
My next one is the beginning of a huge event for DC. It's called Event Leviathan. There was a couple of previews of this, like jumping around to the Free Comic Book Day, as well as
Superman stuff has been
tied
in.
Yeah, Superman stuff's been building to it. And also, Alex Maleev's art in this is just gorgeous. Written by Brian Michael Bendis. This is actually kind of a quiet start, where key players, Green Arrow, Batman, Lois Lane, they're standing in all this wreckage, and they're like, they all get there separately, and they're just trying to figure out what just happened. If you've been reading previous stuff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to be doing spoilers. And this is just kind of like, okay, well, we can't trust anybody else, so it's us three figuring this out right now. But, oh, who's this? Somebody who hasn't been seen in a while.
Boy, that looks like the question.
Yeah. So, and I love the question, like both iterations of the question. So I'm really into this. Still don't know who Leviathan is, but man, it's like, I'm intrigued. Super intrigued.
Way back when I was new at Austin Books and Comics, there was a cool series from Image called The Ride. Fast muscle cars, guns. It was kind of like Fast and the Furious on comic book pages. Before the Fast and the Furious was cool. Which would have been around the 5th movie, I guess. So now, 15 years later, The Ride is back. And check that out. Adam Hughes is doing not just the cover like he did in the original series, but he actually does the art for one of the 2 stories in here. And this is, I believe, a continuing storyline because they both have kind of like cliffhanger endings. So I'm very, in fact there is, because there's an advertisement for number 2.
Oh.
But yes, I'm stoked to have The Ride back. I really enjoyed the first run so long ago, which had, Cully Hamner, Brian Stelfreeze in it, a lot of talented people involved with the original. Some of them are back for the new ride, and I'm totally into it. If there's the thing I love in this world, it's muscle cars, guns, action, badass ladies, good stuff. So check this out. Even if you haven't read the original, you could totally pick up the new one. Although if they haven't come out yet, they're collecting the original storylines in 2 trade paperbacks.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have that to look forward to as well. But in the meantime, get on board.
The Batman Who Laughs number 6. So, man, there is not a lot of hope happening in this book. So, Bruce Wayne, our Bruce Wayne, is infected, and he is slowly turning into another Batman who laughs, and he's got 5% of his regular, cells unaffected, so he is slowly losing it. And he's he's actually kind of okay with it, because once he's that way as the Batman Who Laughs, he'll now have a way to counter him, as long as he can hang on to his sanity. And one thing that I thought was really cool in this is inside the dialogue boxes, or the narration boxes, if you pay attention, some letters are colored differently, and it makes another statement happening in there.
Oh, that's great.
I thought that was really cool. So it's like Bruce trying to get out of his own mind. So it's like, So I was like, oh wow. But there's a lot of other stuff happening in this as well, like Jim Gordon and his son James, who's a crazy dude. They're fighting the Grim Knight. They're trying to avoid everybody getting poisoned. Man, there's a lot happening in here. For some reason, I thought this was the end of the miniseries, but apparently there's another issue happening out there. So that was a snafu on my part.
Oh.
Yeah.
My favorite Spider-Man story is Spider-Man Life Story number 4, the 90s. Really enjoyed this series so far. Every issue's been very much like, ooh, what happens this decade? This one's set in 1995. We've got, how not to spoil stuff. A former friend has turned villain.
Okay.
Or returned villain. You've got Peter Parker as the head of Parker Industries, Mary Jane and the kids living across country. But the story starts off not with Peter Parker, but with Ben Reilly. Awesome stuff. I love what Chip Zdarsky's doing, like advancing the age of all these characters, telling the story. We're getting to see like little windows in every decade, but it gives us just enough to kind of keep going and see what happens next. Very excited about the 2000s. There might be a return of a character that we haven't seen since the first issue. I love this book, and everyone I talk to that reads it is like really into it. So,
Oh yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's so good, and it's just unlike anything we've gotten to see at this point. So I highly recommend it. Just fantastic read.
My favorite Spider-Man story is Superman 12. So
You stole my joke.
Superman 12. So this is all kind of coming to a head of the whole Superman family, all the House of L, as getting ready to fight all the freed Phantom Zone bad guys, including Rogolzar's.
He tried.
Rogolzar. Every time I can
So
never remember
close.
how to say his name.
All you had to do was finish with the R.
Rogolzar, as well as like Zod, all these other people that have just been stuck, and adding into all that, there's 3 alien races that are also all fighting at once. The people from Trillium, people from Hawkman's planet, Thanagar, and man, it's just like an all-out space brawl. But once they see that all of the House of L is together, then everybody's just like, oh wait, crap, they're all here. So like everybody's like kind of doing a standstill for a minute. Behind all of this is another story of what has Jor-El been up to this entire time.
Yeah.
Because he is, you know, like everybody's mad at him for some reason. Like, is he the reason that Krypton exploded? Is he part of this like interstellar group called the Circle? A lot of conspiracy all wrapping up in this issue. It's pretty crazy.
What do you think of these dialogue covers?
I love them.
It's been nice to see that, right?
I like growing up. Dialogue covers were a huge thing for me.
It's a big part of the cover, you know. It was like what lured you in.
Well, yeah, like you know, don't get me wrong. Like for example, you know, like
The iconic,
you know,
image.
just like an image, like that's cool. But I miss like old covers where it's just like, hey, this is the story that's happening in there. That's why I like these coming back, and I kind of hope a lot of people start taking, you know.
I would like to see a lot more dialogue on covers. I mean, I do love the iconic
Or just something
images.
to do with the story.
Something special like that.
That looks cool.
That's cool. You don't need dialogue for that, or the Wonder Woman cover there.
I mean, like Umbrella Academy, which I love, but it's just a bird on the picture. Like, what? Like, how do, what? Anyways.
What up, Brad?
Hey, Brad.
Wonder Woman number 72. This wraps up the current story arc when they're trapped in this like passageway to the other world. There's a giant minotaur that's wrecking shop and causing trouble, and it's just Wonder Woman and her friend with a sword there to stop him.
Get it.
Yeah, gotta get it done. Awesome fight issue, and kind of like leads into a mystery that we'll be delving into next. So really enjoying the G. Willow Wilson Wonder Woman run. Hope you are too. Beautifully drawn, great story, cool characters, and just like, you know, a pillar of the DC universe.
And Brad enjoys the Jenny Frison covers.
Yes.
So yes, they are gorgeous, like when they're the iconic shots. But just every once in a while, I just want to be like, in this issue, you know, like.
It's nice to have
Welcome to the X-Men, Kitty Pryde. Hope
Like
you survive the experience.
action-y dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next one is Mark Millar's Prodigy. This is issue number 6. This is the closing of this story. So if you're unfamiliar with this story, it's basically involving this guy who is the smartest dude on Earth. And he's not superpowered or anything. He just is always curious. And he always is thinking about, you know, how to solve this problem, this problem.
Like a good guy Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And a lot of things have been happening in this book. There's alternate dimensions, there's a giant king, like, and by a giant king, I mean a king who is a giant that lives on this alternate dimension. They're trying to invade ours, and, you know, the protagonist, he is just, like, trying to find a way to stop it. And, man, not how you expected this to end, and that's what I really dug about it. I was just like, oh, that's clever. I like that. Like the main character.
I've really dug this one from Mark Millar. I think
Yeah.
it's fun, different. The character is kind of charming and cocky at the same time. I like that kind of character. Unnatural issue 10. So the murderous albino spirit has taken over our pig protagonist and is threatening her friends with death. Can she fight back? I'm trying to say things that don't necessarily spoil what happens. She's wrestling for control of her very body and soul, and for basically the sake of her friends. Plus, we get to see a little bit more about what made her mother become the Glance, the sort of evil antagonist of the story that is putting all these crazy things into motion. So, wild story, very unlike whatever I expected when
Oh,
I
yeah.
started reading it. Completely different. Very cool and beautiful art. Highly recommended. If you haven't read Unnatural yet, you should give it a shot.
Yeah, that was something I never thought I would get into, and then I read the first issue. I was like, "Crap, I'm in."
It's just so not what I expected.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of expected like weird anthropomorphic characters talking about relationships, and then it becomes this crazy sci-fi,
Yeah.
cultish
Possession kind of thing. Well,
it's
like,
wild.
yeah, it's been a long time since a comic that I picked up. We're like, all right, what is it? And then like I get done with it, I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing.
There's a lot of unhappy death in it though, so like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not a sunshiny kind of book.
the characters get pretty screwed up throughout the book. So
Umbrella Academy number 7. This is the end of the Hotel Oblivion story arc, and man, a lot happens in here. And actually, the bird gets explained in there from earlier. Like it actually kind of shows
means
up.
something.
It means something. But a lot of story arcs are closed, but it's also leaving up a lot of other ones to be opened. A cool thing was I was looking at the letters page and it said, so 9 years until the next story arc, and they go, no, we're already working on the next one. So hey, awesome, we don't have to wait 9 years.
nice.
I loved all of these series, the first one, the second one, this one. I think they're all great. They're weird, and as Doom Patrol fans, like, this kind of hits something for me. But man, like, there's a lot of craziness happening in this. But yeah, definitely get in on this.
Brad says that the dialogue covers our variants. It's like a limited thing.
I know. But,
I don't want to see it go away.
yeah, I want it to keep happening.
James is digging Unnatural, and Brad's digging Umbrella Academy. Detective Comics 1005. This wraps up the current storyline with Peter Tomasi's introduction of the Arkham Knight. So who brought light to Gotham and is planning on doing it again in a bigger, badder way. Can Batman and Robin stop this misguided young woman? Will Dr. Phosphorus or Arcane be able to stop Batman and Robin? I mean, it's their book, so probably not. But an awesome ride, lots of fighting, and cool effects happening, and I like it.
So I'm a little bit behind on this. Arcane, do you mean Anton Arcane from Swamp Thing, or?
I do.
Oh, cool.
And his Unmen.
Oh, I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah.
Dude, have you seen the Swamp Thing show?
I haven't.
It's so crazy.
Well, I guess I better watch what I can while I can.
I think they're gonna like save it before it's,
Think
you
so?
know. I really do. Yeah. I really do, because the first episode was just like straight up John Carpenter's The Thing, dude. It was nuts. My next one is from Aftershock. It is called Trustfall. So this is one of those stories where, imagine you have the ability to teleport things, okay? And then your family's like, oh, okay, great. Like, let's use your ability to, you know, just take things from the bad guys. And who are the bad guys? The police and the government and all these things. So this girl, she is raised in a different morality than we are. She just doesn't know. So she's like totally sheltered in her life, and she just doesn't understand that like what she's doing is bad. I like stories like that, where, you know, somebody's just uninformed on the world, and then they slowly start to realize that, oh, my entire life was a lie, kind of thing. The artwork's in here is really cool too. It gets like really trippy as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and but it's got this really nice color scheme as well, where it's a lot of pinks and purples happening in there. I didn't really know what to expect with this, but you know, you guys know me. I'm a really big fan of Aftershock, and it's because they put out really quality work. So yeah, give this one a shot. It was something I wasn't really gonna give a shot at immediately, but now I'm in.
Brad wants to know what you think of Doom Patrol.
Dude, Doom Patrol is the best show on TV right now.
Oh, snap.
I am like, well, I mean, you know, of course, The Good Place is an amazing show and other things like that, but like right now, everything you can imagine about Doom Patrol actually, like from Grant Morrison's run and even like older runs, it shows up and they pull it off. It's amazing. Like, I'm rewatching it right now, actually.
I've only seen a couple scenes from it because I don't have that streaming service, but it does look really awesome.
Yeah, as soon as they like release a DVD set of it, we will have a marathon.
Sweet.
Because it's that good. A lot of F-bombs though.
I can handle that.
Oh yeah,
I'm okay with that in my entertainment.
Okay. I know you're an adult. You can handle it.
I'm a mature enough person to be able to handle the occasional F. Sonata #1, new from Image. So this is a fantasy series about a gal who is the best, actually, trainer and rider of a Thermosaurus, I think is what they call Thermosaurus. So they're on a world that can be accessed from her homeworld every 5 years. The sort of rotation of planets makes that possible.
All right.
They're looking for new hope, but there's also a whole nother being there. I mean, there's multiple life forms, like races there, that sort of have their own idea. And while her people is made good with the indigenous people, there's another group there that has not.
Let me check this out.
Yeah. There's sleeping godlike giants.
Yeah, this is a cool cover.
Yeah. And the art's consistent, so
wow.
yeah, pretty great stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
If fantasy's your thing, this is a different kind of like fantasy sci-fi. You might give it a shot.
Nice. Yeah, this cover, I was just like, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We have a really great friend named Sean McKeever that comes in every once in a while, and they re-released his series, Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. It used to be like 2 separate series, but they did this, or was it 2 or 3? It was 3.
Was it 2? I thought it was 2, but...
No, Mary Jane 1 through 4, Mary Jane Homecoming 1 through 4, and Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane 1 through 3.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so, anyways, Sean does this really great story where it's just like the high school life of all of the characters you're familiar with. Flash Thompson, Harry, Liz Allen, Mary Jane, Peter Parker. And, Spider-Man's kind of just like in the background of this thing. Now, Mary Jane's like developing a crush on him and stuff, but, like, that's not the main point of the story. It's really about her. And it's in this cool, like, not digest-sized format, but the smaller-sized format that Marvel's been doing with a lot of, like, the younger reader stuff. Like, all of this is $12.99.
That's a deal. That's
Yeah.
a lot of good entertainment.
Yeah, so I need to call Sean and see if he can come over and sign some of them for us.
My copy.
Yeah, so if you want something, for younger readers that you need, that may not be into Marvel, but they want, like, some kind of entryway to it, this would be pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of kids, like, want to read a Spider-Man book, or, but they are kind of put off by the kiddie ones.
Yeah.
Which are also fun, but they want something a little bit more adult, but what's happening right now in Amazing Spider-Man is not
it's not really
necessarily
safe for
accessible.
kids.
So, yeah, that's the perfect kind of book for such a reader. Dr. Horrible collects the adventures of the villain from Joss Whedon's what was it called?
Dr. Horrible's sing-along
blog. Yeah. Which they created while there was a writer's strike.
Yeah.
Way back when, 10 years ago? I think this is like 10th anniversary. So this collects the original comic that was based off of that, plus a newer adventure from Joss Whedon that shows kind of where those characters went after the events of the sing-along blog, which was a lot of fun. And look at Nathan Fillion there as Doc Hammer.
Mm-hmm. No, just Captain Hammer.
Captain Hammer, that's right.
Doc Hammer is the guy from Venture Brothers.
That's a guy.
That's an actual human being.
Yeah, the maker of that show. That's right. Awesome stuff. Very funny. And his brother wrote the comic story, but he did like the follow-up. So if you are craving some Joss Whedon writing, there you go.
Avengers No Road Home. So, if you read Avengers No Surrender and realized how awesome that was, they did a sort of spin-off of this with Avengers No Road Home. All the same people that worked on No Surrender came back for this, so it's that same quality. I didn't know what to think about this when I first read it, but I loved it. I thought it was really awesome. It follows Hercules and all these Avengers right here, and Rocket, who eventually says, okay, I'll be an Avenger. They join up with Hercules because somebody killed all the Greek gods. Like, all of them. And now they're on this giant quest to find out what happened, how much of a threat do they pose for the rest of the universe. Spoiler, it's a lot. And I just loved it. I thought it was great. Every single Avenger has a moment to shine. This is what brought Conan the Barbarian
was just about to say, there's a character from another mythos that
Yeah,
shows up.
they brought that in, and that's how he's in Savage Avengers right now. Like, it was fantastic. I think it flew under a lot of people's radar, but it was worth it, in my opinion. It was like a really cool weekly series. You didn't have to wait a month.
Yeah,
but now, you can read the whole thing.
All in one volume.
Yeah.
Here in the great state of Texas, we have brought back Fangoria. That's right. They are publishing a new Fangoria with awesome articles about classic horror, new horror, just some of the best deaths of 2018 was one of the features in this one.
Oh, yeah.
A look back on Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Joe Bob Briggs. He's returned once again to champion drive-in style movies, exploitation movies, my favorite kind of movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we get a couple interviews with him in this. Look, Tom Savini, the
I do love Tom Savini.
makeup effects king of horror. Awesome stuff, and it's just so good to have this back on the rack, and only in comic shops, by the way.
It's only available in comic shops.
Direct market only. So if you want to get Fangoria, if you're a horror buff like I am, you can stop in and get your copy.
My next one is one of my favorite horror anthology series, Ice Cream Man. I know it looks like, oh, he's just so friendly. Look at him. No, he is a devil person. He is horrible. And each issue is its own little vignette, this own little story about how he is affecting things. In this one, we have the origin of him and his pseudo-brother. We also have, let me see, the next one, a Dia de los Muertos story. We also got one where a guy's stuck in a reality TV show. Then there's something set in the far-flung future. This is awesome. It's crazy. It's insane. I love this book so much.
Are they doing a TV show of that?
Yeah, it's been optioned for a TV show, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be awesome, because, like, it has been weird. It's awesome. Awesome.
You are correct, Brad.
Yeah.
It is.
It is very much that.
Well, and it's a really interesting article about like the kind of like trials and tribulations that the actor went through after that movie. So pretty wild. Detective Comics 1000 Deluxe Edition. So this is a beautiful hardcover edition of that awesome landmark issue that came out a few months ago, 5 or 6. And this features like some of the best Batman creators that are working today. We've got also a couple additional unpublished stories and an art gallery featuring like a lot of the many variant covers of Detective Comics 1000. So if you are a completist and you want that whole package, it's available now.
Brad's asking, doesn't everything get optioned anymore?
Pretty much.
I can name like 6 or 7 things that should be optioned. Like We 3.
And Hollywood, if you'd like to pay us,
Yes,
to come up
we
with
can
that
pitch
list,
these for you.
We absolutely would share
Yeah.
that with you.
Yeah, like We 3. How's that not happening?
That's your
yet?
freebie one.
That's that's a taste.
The game is to be sold and not to be told.
That's how I lose so much money. My last one is The Terrifics Volume 2. So after Dark Knight's Metal, there was this whole like New Age of Heroes thing happening at DC, and this was my absolute favorite one. The Terrifics is essentially Marvel's Fantastic Four, but the trick is here, these guys don't really like each other a whole lot, and they're just kind of stuck together. But if you like that crazy, just cosmic, insane kind of stories that bring in people you just never expected, like Tom Strong. I never thought I'd see him in a comic again.
I really
But
do.
there he is. It's so fun. It's so crazy and weird. It's great. And that's all I gotta say about it. You should be checking this out. I mean, do you like Metamorpho? I do. He's in this. Plastic Man.
The Element Man.
Yeah, like this is great stuff. This reminds me of like fun 70s and 80s comics of just like, yeah, cool. Our first adventure is we land inside the corpse of a giant dead god. Let's see where that goes. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so
Nice. Brad says We 3 was at one point. And
Oh.
I remember that being a thing too, because I remember thinking there was going to be like a movie of We 3.
oh man, see, but still, that'd be great.
Everything gets optioned. Moonshadow. This is one of my all-time favorite books that not a lot of people actually know about because it's been out of print for a long time. Originally for Marvel's Epic line, and then in the 90s published in DC's Vertigo line. This was a 12-issue series by J.M. DeMatteis with incredible painted artwork by John J. Muth. Just one of the most beautiful books you'll ever read. The thing that everyone always says about it is it's an adult fairy tale, but it's just a mind-blowing, post-hippie, just exploration of space and growing up and adventure and sadness and war and just everything is right here. It's just like
a Dostoevsky novel.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, you get this, like, I won't say a life story because you're really only getting to see the protagonist grow up a little bit until you get to Farewell Moonshadow, which is like a follow-up story they did in a prestige format that was like at the end of his life.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a lot of feelings in this book. I remember reading, this is like the first non-superhero comic that I really read, and it just blew my mind. It's like, oh, comics can be so much more. Look at that. Gigantic amount of content. Awesome story. One of the best stories you'll ever read. It's haunting how good it is.
Haunting.
Beautiful book. I can't recommend it enough. And just $30. And you will read one of the best stories you've ever read.
Well, it's not $30 because we always do 10% off of this.
Less than $30, and you will have this incredible story of a boy born of a beautiful hippie soul and a giant, sort of almost sociopathic,
sweet,
god light being.
Okay, let's get to all the stuff that we got coming up. We do have the signing with Donnie Cates. That is tomorrow, 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Yes.
With cake.
Yes, with cake. We also have on the 27th, we have our ladies' night, our LGBT night. That's going to be here. Next Friday, we have it's this Friday. I'm sorry. This Friday, we have our new art show, Strange Beast 6.
That's right.
Yeah. I saw Matt Frank's artwork that he brought in today.
Yeah,
awesome.
He posted that online, too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that art show is going to be this Friday from 7 to 10. Come on by. It's totally free. A lot of really cool art debuting. A couple of drinks, music,
It's a cool hangout.
It's a cool hangout spot. What do you got going on?
Tonight is the casual magic night at Outlaw Moon, as is Friday. We often play the Commander, Oathbreaker formats. We start drafting sometime in the near future. Saturday night is tabletop game night. Choose your game. Bring a game. We bring games. We've got tons of demo games at the store. We always have fun playing stuff and trying new things. And last week we played Robo Rally, where you are programming your little robot to try to make it through a death maze, while also being wary of everyone else's little death bot. Super fun. And I kept on dying left and right in that game. I just could not make a turn without getting blasted to smithereens. It was rough.
Oh, man.
It was very rough. And I was the one who taught them all how to play the game, and they all just railroaded.
No respect.
So bad.
No respect.
Yeah, so we're always playing different stuff and trying out new things. So if you want to know about what games we're playing and when we're playing them, you can follow Outlaw Moon Games on Facebook, and we've got all those details in the events page.
Let me think. I got a show this Sunday at Dozen Street. I'm playing at 11. Hey, you're off, so you can come by.
On what day?
Sunday.
What time is it?
11.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so yeah, I'm playing there. I'm playing with a lot of cool bands. One called Bird Casino. The other one's called Buddha Rays. They're both really awesome. Bird Casino's really kind of crazy sounding, so I like them a lot. I got 2 more shows later on this month, but I'll tell you about those in a later show. But come to this one on Sunday. It's fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, come hang out with me.
It's kind of late on a Sunday, but...
It is, but shows...
What else am I doing?
You get them when you can. Yeah. But I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
We'll vaguely mention that there's another signing in the pipeline. We won't say who, but it's later on.
Okay.
We'll mention more next time, maybe.
Oh, yes. I actually think I know what you're talking about.
I got to finalize some
Whisper,
details.
whisper, whisper. But cool, yeah. So come by and see us tomorrow. Come by for the signing. Come by for the art show. Come by just to say hello.
Brett says if you get a chance, there's a documentary on The Amazing Jonathan on YouTube.
I actually like the Amazing Jonathan.
I loved The Amazing Jonathan,
Yeah.
which is probably why Brad's mentioned it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you can follow me at Super Ty Denton 1. You can follow you at,
Comic Book Brando.
and you can follow both of us at Austin Books, and we will catch you later.
We'll see you.
Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta.